Setting powerful goals is something of utmost importance if you think about it. Setting goals gives you a directive. It gives you something to look forward to. But it also gives you an opportunity to decide what you want for your life. But to do that, obviously, there are steps that have to be taken, things that have to be constructive that will help you. And goals have to have components to them. First and foremost, they must be inspiring. They must motivate you to the point where you really believe in them and you really believe in yourself and what you're trying to accomplish. Second, they must be something that you truly believe in yourself, something that you can set up. To set a goal that is impossible, to say, I want to become a multimillionaire in 48 hours, that's not something you're going to believe in. It's not something that you're going to do. Now, unless you win the lottery, which is one in millions and millions of chances, that is not a reasonable goal. Setting a goal would have to have something that has measurable progress that you can accomplish. So you have to believe it. And it has to be believable not only to you, but to the whole goal itself that you're trying to set up. Last but not least, a goal does not mean anything unless you act on it, unless you make it an action. Something which is going to take it from a thought process, something that you think about, until it becomes an action of something that's going to happen. So providing goals are important. There are two kinds of goals. There are short-term goals and long-term goals. Short-term goals are things that you're going to accomplish for the next few days, the next few weeks, perhaps even the next few months. Those are short-term goals. Anything more than 3 or 4 months becomes a long-term goal because it takes time. Now, I've heard some people, and quite successful business people, who actually call short-term goals things for the next 6 months, perhaps even 12 months. You have to decide for yourself what is a short-term goal that you think you can accomplish. Regardless, however, long-term goals are things that you're going to accomplish in the next several years, things that will take you forward and move you upward in a different direction for years to come. Powerful goals are set up on the 3 concepts which I just mentioned. The fact that they are motivating you, then they're inspiring, things that you want to do, things that you can believe in, things that you can accomplish, and last but not least, things that you will be able to act upon. Now, there are areas of emphasis that you need to pay attention to when you write your goals. I would like you, and I hope that you take notes as you hear this podcast, in helping you exactly setting it up in the best way possible. One of the things that you have to do at first, before you set goals, is you have to evaluate exactly where you are today. You have to know your strength and you have to know your weaknesses. If there is something that you're not powerful enough or comfortable enough or feel confident enough that you know, then make that one of your goals to change it. But don't fool yourself in thinking that you are better than that in that area. Evaluate exactly who you are and take some serious time with that. So my recommendation is for you to sit down in a quiet place. Find a place somewhere in your home, outside in a park, out in the forest, somewhere quiet where you can take a piece of paper and decide, okay, what do I want to do? What are the goals that I need to set for myself? What is it that I try to accomplish and the direction that I want to go to? And you need to separate them in 3 columns. One which is personal, one which will be professional, and the other one which will be spiritual. These 3, personal, professional, and spiritual, will get you through pretty much anything that you have in life. Now, of course, some of these things will have to include subcategories. For instance, in the area of personal, you'll want to discuss about physical, like exercising and what have you. In the areas of professional, you may want to discuss also in relationships, in perhaps relationship between colleagues or things that you want to do in your life. Or in matters of spiritual, also things or areas that you want to grow in and areas that you want to go to. All of this has to be taken into consideration. But the main 3 components are the personal, professional, and spiritual. These are areas. You need to evaluate clearly where you are at this point in these 3 areas. Personally, may be that you are at this point comfortable with your life, but not happy. You're content with what you've got, but not ecstatic. You want more. You want more of the things that you would like to have. Perhaps you would want a better home, a bigger home. Perhaps you want more revenue, more income, profits. to your house, to your household, to your family. Perhaps you want to take vacation in some exotic places. Perhaps there are things that you would like to buy that you've been waiting for. It could be your first home, or it could be a bigger home, or it could be in, a second home, or things that you would like to buy. Whatever it is, from a personal standpoint, you have to make all of these into areas of reflection that you have to accomplish. Now, these could be also in reflections and areas in relationship towards from yourself towards your spouse. It could be a relationship also with your children. And what you want to do is you want to take a piece of paper and write down at least 25 to 50 of these components in the professional column, in the personal column, as well as the spiritual column. In all 50 of these areas, you want to decide what is it that really you're looking for to change in your life, to improve, to make better. And those are the things that you want to set up. This evaluation must be 100% genuinely truthful and honest. Don't lie to yourself. Don't fool yourself. So in fact, I heard a saying once, which was something which I've carried for many, many, many years of my life. And, it was something which was so substantial. And it said it takes 3 things to know to be an adult, to be a self-accomplishing adult. 1 is don't fool others. The second is don't let others fool you. And the third is don't fool yourself. In these 3 areas, it means that don't let others fool you. Don't be naive. Pay attention to whom you are associating with, and don't let them fool you into anything, into things that you don't want to do, in things that you should not be doing, or in things that you know are not good for you. Don't fool others. Don't try to trick people. Don't try to mislead people. Don't try to take them into an area which is not beneficial to them or yourself, or to the world for that matter. And don't fool yourself. Know exactly who you are. Know your strength, know your weaknesses, and know what you've got. If there's something that you don't know how to do or you're not confident in, just say it. Admit it. Once you admit it, now you can change it. So don't fool yourself by thinking that you're something better or greater than you are at this point. You can have the confidence in knowing that you can accomplish them, but truthfully evaluate yourself where you are today. Those are extremely important components of the evaluation. Within this evaluation, you want to do something called reflection. You want to reflect as to where you were coming from. What is it that you've done in the past? What is it that you've had? Up until now, from a personal standpoint, what have you accomplished? Did you get the degree you wanted to? Are you in a position where you feel that you've done what you wanted in your life? Perhaps it was that book that you wanted to write, or the weight that you wanted to lose, or a relationship that you wanted to develop with your children or siblings, or perhaps something that you wanted to fix in your personal life. Evaluate it and reflect upon it to see if this is what you wanted. In your professional life, the same thing. Did you really reach the goal already, or at this point, that you've been wanting to reach, or that you've always aspired to? Remember, as much as it must be inspiring, it must also be believable. It must be something that you truthfully understand and think that you can get accomplished. Otherwise, it's a useful goal. It's something that's not going to help you. Another part to that, of course, is to make sure from the spiritual standpoint. I don't know if you believe in God, and I don't know whether you have a belief of faith in your life. But it's important to realize and reflect as to what it is that you're trying to do and what it is that you're trying to accomplish, the direction you're trying to go. You can't live without spirituality. It doesn't mean that you have to believe in this God or go to church or a mosque or a synagogue or attend services. That's a separate issue. But you have to have a conscientious belief as to the creation of the world, the purpose of the world, and your mission in this world. Why is it that you're here? And what is it that you have to accomplish while you're here? We all know we live somewhere around 80 to 90, perhaps 100, and some of us that may be a little more fortunate, maybe 105, 110 years old. I think the oldest person that have been recorded so far in the last 100 years or so was 114 years old. And that may be very well the case, but even if that's the case, that's all we've got. What is your mission during these 100 years? And what is it that you are supposed to do while on earth? It has to have a purpose. It has to have meaning. It has to have something that's conscientiously beneficial, not just to you, but to those around you, as well as to the world. What is your contribution to the world? So, personal, professional, and spiritual. 3 things to evaluate, to reflect on, and decide where is it that you want to be? Where is it that you want to do? Those are major components. Once you are able to reflect on those concepts, and that's why I said earlier, this is something that you want to do in a quiet place. Imagine sitting down in a very quiet nature place, let's say in the mountains somewhere, in the forest, by yourself. And you're able to, with this piece of paper, jot down ideas of what you want to be, where you want to go, what you would like to see, where you would like to visit, the places that you would like to live in, anything that you want, things that you want to have, things that you would like to purchase, things that you would like to acquire, some things that you would like to get rid of, the things that you would like to change. Any of these ideas, if you could write them down, and write as much as you can. As your thoughts are running through your mind, let your paper be your friend, and let that pen just run right through it. Just keep on writing. The idea at first is not to organize your concept or what you're writing down. The idea at first is to just let your mind flow. Evaluate truthfully where you are. And remember those 3 things that I said earlier. Don't fool yourself, don't fool others, and don't let others fool you. So at any time when you're writing something, don't fool yourself. Know that what you're writing must be truthful, must be integrity, must be with genuine, conscientious effort. Know what you're doing, and therefore you'll know that while you're writing this down, this is about honesty. This is about your character. It's got to be flawless. Even if you have faults today, it's not the matter to evaluate what your faults are. It's a matter to evaluate what you want to do about them. That's what makes a difference. So evaluation and reflection. Evaluate where you are and then reflect as to where you want to be and the things that you want to change. Then set from there goals. And again, remember these goals have to have parameters. They're not related to the past. They're not related to the future. They're related to the present, where you are today, and what do you think you can accomplish and change them. They've got to come from your mind or your heart. They're unique to yourself. Don't take somebody else's goals and say, I want to do the same as they did. That's not your goals. That's their goals. And it's based on their life. It's based on their concept, based on what it is that they thought about. So construct these goals, build them up, put them on a piece of paper. Until next time, have a remarkable day, a beautiful day, and a blessed day. Thank you.
If you like what you've heard, please let us know by leaving a comment below. We would really appreciate if you would be kind enough to like, share, and even subscribe. Feel free to follow us on Facebook.